What is up, guys? Godzilla here, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the Bandai 6-inch Toho Kaiju series Godzilla 2000. Please enjoy. So I got this figure about 2 days ago from Toho Kaiju. I won it on an eBay auction. Go check out Toho Kaiju, by the way. So this, I've only had it for about 2 days, and it's already one of my favorite figures in my collection. It basically is my favorite. I mean, this figure is a beautiful figure. Absolutely stunning. So, with that said, I'm going to just go ahead and get started with it. Detail. The detail on this guy is so good that his detail has detail. And you think I'm joking? Let me show you the chest. Look at that. Each of his little scale things has a crap load of detail on it. Look at that. That's phenomenal. Like, this guy just blows all the other figures out of the water. Look at his face. He's got all those little speckles in there in his nose. Lots of texture. Here's a head-on view. Very nice detail. Here's the side. I like how they sculpted the side here with these scales right there on his cheek. Let's look at the top of his head. Very nice. Inside of his mouth, he actually does have detail on the top of his mouth, as you can see. Also some on the tongue, but that's a little harder to tell. So I'm going to move on to the neck. Very nice detail in there. Under the chin, not that much, but it's still good. Side of the neck, really nice. I love the way on the 2000 suit how the neck is. Like, it has this ridge right here, and then sort of a flat neck. I love that. Now onto the shoulders. It's nice how they added these little, like, spike things here, I guess. They also did that on the side of the legs, and I think those are really neat. Arms, the detail is great. Nothing bad to say about them. Here's the other arm. The nails have like little lines, as you can see. Like, you know, just to add sort of a nail-ish texture. So there's that. Let me go ahead and do his torso area. Very, very nice detail. I've already showed this. Spectacular. Let's do the side of his body. Very good. Nothing that we haven't already seen on the rest of the figure, though. Legs. Great detail. This is kind of getting boring for you guys because I'm just going around the figure saying great detail, great detail. On the nails, there's also those little lines there on the feet. Also, the way they like sculpted the skin on his toes looks really cool. Onto the tail, let's look under the tail. You got these very nice like line fold things under the tail. Side, very good, just like the rest of the figure. And at the tip of the tail, so much detail. Okay, now onto the spines. Oh, hold on really quick. There's detail on the bottom of the feet. They've gone above and beyond with this one. So onto the spines. They're not incredibly detailed, but I think they look really good. So let's look at him here. Of course, the sides are very speckled and textured. A little smoother than the rest of the figure, but it's still cool. And then at the tip of the spine, we just basically lose all the detail. But it's, you know what, it's okay. I think it looks great. I mean, let me just compare that to the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2000 really quickly. You know, he has detail all throughout his spines. But remember, this is a vinyl figure. They're not going to have incredible detail all the way through the figure. So the spines look good. Let's really quick move down here. Spines are looking great. All the way down to the tip of the tail. So detail on this figure is fantastic. Now let me do the sculpt now. Godzilla 2000 being one of my favorite suits, the sculpt on this guy is also incredible. The way they got the head spot on, spot frickin' on. The neck looks great. Like I said, they have to get the neck just right because it's important on a lot of Millennium suits. So they did a great job on that, making him look like this. And then the shoulders, nice huge broad shoulders. That's fantastic. He looks very muscular, like in his body, as you can see, especially like in his chest. Everything about this figure is fantastic. The legs are flawlessly sculpted. Beautiful. Same with the arms. The teeth are not individually sculpted, but they do bulge out from the plastic that they're sculpted onto. So it's not like it's just paint on a strip of plastic, or vinyl, that is. The spines look very nice. Of course, we have these spines here, you know, the main ones. But also the spines on the side look very cool. I love those. Some of them are connected, as you can see. Like, this one is connected to this. Hold on. This is connected to this. It looks good from the side view. It really does. Let's see, what else can I talk about for the sculpt? Yeah, everything is just spot on for sculpt. He's sort of like hunched over like Godzilla 2000 should be. Oh yeah, okay. So, there's a gap in the spines right here. Basically they did that because Godzilla 2000 spines are like all over the place. You know, they're crazy. And they also gave him articulation in the tail. I'm just gonna say that right now. He moves in the tail, so they couldn't have the spines like all in here, you know, getting in the way of each other and banging into each other. So I can see why they put the gap there, but I honestly would have preferred if they just put a glue seal here and filled in the gap, because that would have looked a lot better. But oh well. This guy having such long spines also has a problem of spines like bending, sort of. Not really bending, but if you can tell on mine, like the very top spine is sort of like tilted to the right a little bit from this angle. You can barely see it, but it's hard to demonstrate. But the biggest spine, the main one, is bent out of shape a little bit. Not out of shape, but out of position, so it's like that. So yeah, I would recommend being careful, like if you're putting this guy in a box to transport him, maybe put him at the top so the spines don't bend. So again, sculpt is very great. I love this sculpt. Really quick, let me look at this sculpt of the spines, because you really have to see these up close to appreciate them. So beautiful. Beautiful spines. Okay. Paint job. So, this guy is a light black, sort of charcoal gray, just like most Godzilla figures. He has a very, and I mean very slight hint of green, but I wouldn't even say that because it's so unnoticeable that it's not even worth mentioning. The eyes, let's see, black pupils, red irises, and sort of like yellow whites, if that's what they're called, I don't know. His teeth are the same color as his eyes, or at least the outside of the eyes, sort of a cream yellow, a very light cream though. And the colors on the face look very good, no complaints at all. Oh, and the tongue is like red. But unlike other figures where the tongue is so red it's annoying, this guy, the tongue is sort of shaded out from the rest of the head, so it looks good. The nails, same color as his teeth, I think. The same light cream color. And the paint also goes a bit onto the fingers and toes, but that looks good. I'm glad that they painted all the nails on this guy because it just bugs me when they don't paint the nails, you know? Like, anyway, so onto the spines. Now, some of you know that on the Bandai Creation version of this guy, I think the spines needed a lot of improvement. Well, here's the thing. I think the shade for the spines is okay on the Bandai Creation one, but they were just like too glossy, you know? And they just kind of look weird. Now, I think this guy needed a bit darker spines, just a little bit though, because the spines on the SH Monster Arts figure like perfect, just about. So I think if it could have had slightly darker spines and like more detail, then they would be good. But this sort of light pink purplish color I actually love a lot. I have no complaints about this. It looks just fine the way it is. So, also at the base of the spines, they have little, like, black, or, like, the skin going up onto the spines, which transitions into a silver, which then transitions into this light pink. So it looks very good. And also, this figure does what not many figures do. The paint goes all the way to the tip of the tail. Beautiful choice. Okay. Paint job on this guy, fantastic. Let's see. Next, I'll do some size comparisons. So, first, I'm going to size compare him with the Bandai Creation Godzilla 2000. So this guy is sort of weird to compare him with because he's like in this battle stance, making everything complicated. So he is a little bit shorter than this guy. Let's see what he would look like if we stood him up like this, though. Then they are about the exact same size. So, by the way, the Toho Kaiju series version, which is the one this is a bit bigger than the Memorial Box version. And that one is actually, technically, it's from Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, but it's pretty much the same sculpt. So, this guy is about the same size as the Bandai Creation once you straighten out his feet. Next we have the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2000. Now, really quick, I want to say that this guy isn't accurate because he's a Yuji Sakai sculpt, but he's still Godzilla 2000, so I'm going to compare him. Now, this guy is just a smidge. Well, no, I won't even say that. I mean, they're pretty much the exact same size. This one just looks a little taller because his head is like bigger. Maybe at the spines this guy's taller, like, yeah, just a little bit taller. But they're just about the same size. So, really quick, I'm going to compare all three of my Godzilla 2000 figures. So, here they all are together. I think they look great together. Well, sort of. I mean, the only one that's really accurate is this one. But I kind of like looking at them together. So, that's size comparison with other 2000 figures. Next, I'm going to compare him with Bandai Theater exclusive Megaguirus. So, do they compare well? Let's see. Yes, I'd say they do. I mean, I don't know the exact size of Megaguirus. It's kind of hard to tell because Megaguirus is like winged insect-like creature, so it's not like the other Godzillas where you could just put them next to each other and compare them. So here's about their size together. I think they look just fine together. Honestly do. They look great. Let's quick compare the wingspan to the height of Godzilla. There's that. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how big this guy is. Lastly, I'm going to compare him to the Bandai Pink Tag Godzilla 1993. This is a figure that a lot of people have, so I felt like comparing him. They are, at the head, the exact same size. So, yes, there you have it. This guy is the exact same size as this guy at the head. Although this guy is taller than 1993 at the spine, because that goes above his head. But, you know what? Who cares? Same size. So that's going to do it for size comparisons. Now I'll talk about movie accuracy. I've kind of said it in the video already, but this guy, very great with movie accuracy. The only problem is probably his spines, but they look beautiful on the figure, so I'm not going to complain at all. You know what I haven't done? I haven't done articulation. So, for articulation, the arms move all the way back like that. It's kind of stiff, and all the way in like that. Don't feel like doing it with the other arm because it's stiff. And then the legs, hard to get a grip on him. I'm gonna say they don't move 360 just because they're so stiff. Crap. Okay, so that's the main articulation, and then of course we have the tail, which moves, and the spines just barely miss the legs. Man, this is hard. Okay. I'm so glad they didn't put articulation in the neck, because that would have ruined the sculpt, honestly. This guy, the neck on the 2000 figure is very unique, and I think articulation would have just jacked it up. So, yes, onto rarity and value. I got him for $18 plus $6 shipping, which is a really good deal for this guy, but that's because he was on an auction. Thanks again, Toho Kaiju. So, the rarity, I mean, eBay, you can probably find him for maybe $35 to $40. He gets all the way up to maybe $60 or $70 though. So he's not a cheap figure at all. I mean, as Bandai figures go. Rarity, he's not that rare. I mean, of course, the Bandai Creation version is much more common than this guy, but it's hard to find him for a decent price. So if you see this guy for maybe $30 or under, definitely go for him. I highly recommend him. So that's gonna wrap up this review. Like, the only problems I could find with him were the tail gap and the spines, but the tail gap was excusable because of the articulation, and the spines look beautiful. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give him a 5 out of 5. I'm giving lots of figures 5s lately. That's A, because I've softened up after the very first reviews I did on my channel where I was giving figures like 3s and stuff. And B, because I don't like reviewing bad figures that much. I like reviewing good figures. So this guy gets a 5 out of 5. He definitely deserves it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you didn't enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Maybe tell me some other figures you want me to review in the comments below. And I'll see you guys on my next video.